Our third and final Hoosier today is Indiana linebacker Aiden Fisher. Aiden, thank you so much for joining us today. If you wouldn't mind, just a quick opening statement, and then we'll take some questions.
Yeah, obviously a blessing and a great opportunity to be playing in this game. Super excited for it. Have a really good opponent in Ohio State. Presents challenges, offense, defense, and special teams. So looking forward to it. A great challenge that we'll be prepared for. Looking forward to it.
All right, our first question today for Aiden will go to Bill Rabinowitz.
Aiden, you came from James Madison with Coach Saggetti. What is it about him that you think is so special to be able to turn around a program the way he has done it?
Yeah, first I think it's the belief he has in himself. There's nobody that's gonna out prepare or outwork Coach Sig. I think he knows that, and he's been a little brash in some meetings and interviews, and all of that comes from just self belief he has in himself. And then obviously it branches down to his players and his coaching staff. So when you have a guy that believes in himself so much, prepares more than anybody in the country, that's why you want to play for him. And then he changed the way people think here at Indiana. Everybody's used to kind of being the punching bag of the Big Ten, and most losses in I think it was FBS history or something like that with the facts. But just the way that he's able to change cultures and programs is just unbelievable, and the job he's done here has been nothing short of remarkable.
Our next question is from Zach Osterman.
Aiden, kind of along those lines, we asked Coach Signetti, or he was talking today about how he felt like that maybe this team had something of kind of an underdog mentality going into Ohio State last year, but he doesn't think that's the case this year. The success you guys have had, the way you've been able to kind of stack these two seasons on top of one another, that maybe any sort of David versus Goliath mentality just isn't something this team feels. How have you seen? Maybe just you as a locker room, not necessarily like the whole program, but you as a locker room kind of learn to be more to behave more like front runners. I know you'll always want to have the chip on your shoulder and things like that, but to behave more like a group that expects winning, that holds a standard of winning, and that maybe looks at big time matchups like Oregon, like Ohio State, and says, no, this is where we belong.
Yeah, I think honestly, using the experiences we had last year, obviously with Ohio State and Notre Dame, we fell short the moment. Coach Sega said it. It kind of got a little too big for us, and I think we went in with too much of an underdog mentality. So this year, every single big game we've been in, there's been no doubt at all. It's never crept in that, oh man, like we might lose this game. That's never been a thought. It's for us, it's just keep pounding away, and at some point we're going to break free and we're going to win a football game, regardless who's it against. The score, the scenario we're in, if it's a close game, a blowout, anything. It's just foot on the gas at all times. And obviously with this game, we're not looking at it as an underdog game at all. It's two giants clashing. We're both 12-0 for a reason. We're both really good football teams, and the better team will win on Saturday.
Our next question comes from Daniel Flick.
Yeah, and I think Sig mentioned yesterday that like the mindset that you guys were able to learn from that loss last year, it kind of permeated on your mind, throughout the whole spring, whole summer. Was there a moment for you that the mindset entering a stage like this just kind of flipped?
For me personally, not too much. Every single Saturday, I want to go out and prove I'm the best linebacker in the country. And I think the way that this team thinks and operates, that's everybody at every single position. If that's, our right guard to our free safety, we all want to prove we belong here. We're the best of our position. We play on the best team, the best defense. And to be the best, you got to beat the best. So, this matchup is one that we've been looking forward to for a really long time. Going back to last year, after obviously the loss at their place. So, for me, it's definitely stuck on my head, and my mentality that if we do get another shot at this, we need to right some wrongs. For me especially. So, we're looking forward to it, but it's definitely been something that's been in the back of our mind. Just waiting for another opportunity to go at it.
Next question is from Sammy Jacobs.
Aiden, I know Ohio State has really good players, but what makes them so hard to defend in both the pass game and the run game?
Yeah, I mean, they have phenomenal players at every level: receivers, O-line, tight ends, running back, quarterback. They're good everywhere. But when you look at, the film, it's how well they play together. Their scheme, they do a lot of different run frames. Pass game obviously has a lot of unique concepts, especially when you have two guys that are going to play on Sundays, playing X and Z receiver on the outsides and, sometimes on the slot, which is another thing that you're going to have to account for. Just where do guys line up, where they utilize the best. And for them, that's kind of the game plan for every team. But for them, it's different, knowing that every single guy can hurt you in a lot of ways. So, just a really good team with a scheme that fits them, perfectly, and a quarterback that makes that thing go. Obviously, his completion percentage is, through the roof. So he does a great job getting the ball out to his guys. And I think their pass game really opens up their run game. I know they have a lot of, young guys at running back, and then one older guy that you transferred in. But I mean, they're just solid everywhere. They do a great job in the run game, great job in the pass game, and they present a lot of challenges for us that we're gonna have to account for.
Next question is from Kyle Babcock.
Aiden is a leader on the defense and played against a proficient offense like you have at IU. How has that made your great defense better practicing against those guys all the time?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a great account for why we've been so successful. We've been put in a lot of high pressure, high stress situations versus our offense going back to the spring. We have a phenomenal quarterback that really stresses our coverages. Makes us account for every single thing. So, going up against a team that is very similar with elite receivers, a great O line, good tight ends, um, you know, elite explosive running backs. All of it kind of ties in together when you're looking at both teams. So. Obviously, a little bit different, looking at them compared to us, scheme wise and player wise, but being able to be in the situations that we're going to be in, have to account for the same things to a certain degree that we're going to have to with them is going to help us down the road.
Next question is from Patrick Murphy.
Yeah, Aiden, you were talking about Ohio State's run game. It's started to come on more these last few games. What have you seen from that group? You mentioned some young guys. What have you just seen from them as the run game has started to be more productive?
Yeah, I mean, if you just go through their recent games, I think the UCLA game, the Rutgers game, and obviously the Michigan game, they've done a great job getting the run game going. Um, their O line is playing hard. They're doing a lot of things well. They play a very clean game up front. If that's just sticking to the D lineman, but climbing up to the second level as well, they do a great job on linebackers. So we have a big challenge for us as a defense, but as a linebacker core, especially. And then, you have talented running backs that can hurt you in a lot of ways. Um, like all of them are really good players. They're really good. They're really quick. They're hard to bring down with one guy. So it's going to be a whole team and, unit effort from the defense to, stop that run game. But, they've been elite the last couple of weeks.
Good time for a couple more for Aiden. Next question is from Zach Browning.
Hey, Aiden, one of the more interesting matchups Saturday, D'Angelo Pons, Jeremiah Smith. What gives you guys as a defense confidence in D'Angelo to be able to go up against who's considered one of the top receivers in the country?
Yeah, I mean, I think just the confidence that we have in him in general is through the roof. He's a phenomenal cornerback that does a great job playing against smaller guys, bigger guys, physical, fast receivers. Anything that lines up in front of him, he does a great job keeping it in front of him. And obviously, I think his numbers speak for themselves. But going back to last year, that was a matchup that he looked forward to. I know they grew up together, have a lot of familiarity there, so. The confidence that he has is giving us a lot of confidence that he'll be able to get the job done. But I mean, going back to last year's numbers and what he was able to do, he did a great job. So more of that and the confidence that he's brought into his room and this defense as a whole. We're very confident in him and being able to showcase that on Saturday.
All right, our last question for Aiden goes to Mike Schumann.
Yeah, hey Aiden, I wanted to ask you about Mikhail. He ended up leading the Big Ten with 46 quarterback pressures this year, and he did that with only one sack on the season, which seems to kind of suggest he got a lot of extra attention directed his way this year and was still able to impact the game. I'm curious your reaction to kind of how he handled that extra attention both on and off the field, because I'm sure it was frustrating for him at times.
Yeah, no doubt that can be frustrating, but when you have a phenomenal player and a leader like Mikhail, he's doing whatever it takes to win, to be a disruptive defense. I think we finished with, I think it was four, I think it was four minimum that I know of guys that finished with 10 plus TFL. So obviously, the attention that he's getting is allowing other guys to kind of flourish in his defense and play at a really high level. So there's no selfishness with him. It's all about the team, all about, how can we be the best defensive unit that we can be. And if that's him taking on 2 to 3 blocks every play, he's willing to do it. And he's been phenomenal with it off the field. Never a moment where he's been like, "Woe is me," or he's not having the year that he wants. It's just all about the team and all about winning. And he's done a great job on and off the field about it.
Aiden, thanks so much for taking the time to join us. Good luck this week.
Thank you, appreciate it.